Welcome back to Instant Anime.
Just add music.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sarah.
Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, this is the one where Sarah and I listen to a song and then make an anime for it.
A kick-ass anime.
Generally,
Hopefully.
hopefully,
I've just jinxed us.
we try really hard to make kick-ass animes here on the show. We've listened to the song today, Egg by Kayla Kimura, and we both wrote our own separate animes in 5 minutes, which makes it instant, and we will share them on the show separately, but then we combine them into a mega anime, which is when we drop stuff, we add stuff.
And make it kick-ass.
That's what makes it kick-ass, is when it's a
Absolutely.
collaborative effort that we both put stuff into. So we listen to the song Egg. We recommend you do the same. We link it in the description of the podcast, but if you cannot click that link for whatever reason, just search it up on your favorite search engine of choice.
Search up that egg.
Egg by Kayla Kimura. Fun song. I think it's been on our list for a while, and it is not a suggestion, and so I had to do some last minute is this an anime? as soon as it's a Japanese song, I'm like, oh no. At 50-50, it might already be an anime.
There's always a chance.
But yeah, we hopefully my cursory Googling knowledge means that it's not. Either way, I'll share my idea now that I had for Egg.
Let's crack into it.
Egg. Can't make it without scrambling it.
Being your
The
idea.
song and my idea together. Summer National Reading Contest, where you read
Oh,
books
yeah.
and turn them in for
I'm
credit or
in.
whatever, will determine which family will get to live on the new Mars colony.
Oh.
Make sure your precocious youngsters are reading and logging as many books as possible. The new Mars colony is one of the greatest bastions of human hope in the universe. Every book logged is tracked as a large display of digital rocket ships aiming towards Mars, and a cool 3D sort of display.
It makes me think of the Santa tracker, not gonna lie.
Kinda, yeah. But bigger, better,
Sure.
national program
And stronger,
level.
too.
Exactly. It's the first member of the book
The
reading
Mars.
crew.
Oh, yeah.
Aiming towards Mars, with every child in the nation displayed on the board, whether they're reading books or not.
No pressure.
So they have some failed the launch. You know what I'm saying?
Oof.
What could possibly inspire the kid who hates books to try for the grand prize? A better life on Mars, of course. Follow the underdog tale of one child who decides it's time for a change for them and their poorer family, or less well off. They take to reading after taking an apprenticeship somewhere and are encouraged by their mentor every day and through every step to do their very best.
Cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's funny because I had a Marsy vibe from the very beginning, and then the song kind of starts, and then I'm like, oh, this isn't a spacey song at all, and then it ends with more boo-doo-boo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess there's space in here, but I had just a more down-to-earth vibe for the actual idea.
Yeah. I heard what you heard as Spacey Mars as water.
I'm telling you, 50-50.
I saw bubbles coming up from the ocean floor.
Mm-hmm.
And unless I've cut you off, I'm
done with my idea. And again, I feel like we've had multiple episodes where you're like, I saw underwater. I'm like, I saw space.
That's just our brains,
That's
man.
it, yeah. But
You're a
I
spaceman.
can see it too. The very well animated, cool underwater bubbles.
Yeah, I saw
trickling
bubbles.
up. Yeah,
I saw bubbles, man.
I see that a lot.
Well,
But that's the thing. Space is like underwater. It's
guess I'm basic.
It's like the unexplored frontiers. You know.
Yeah. Well, if I've teased it enough, then I might as well just tell you the whole thing. Eh?
Oh yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay. So, welcome to the most beautiful coral reef. At least it used to be. The reef is slowly dying, and as the heart of its world, the rest of the inhabitants are suffering too. Among them, the remnants of the royal mermaids, tasked with protecting the oceans.
Okay.
One young mermaid, the last of the royal blood, still able to transform themselves physically, like they could be a fish, dolphin, human legs, don't have to give up their voice for any reason. They decided it is their responsibility to discover the source of the blight and eradicate it. But is it from an ancient curse or something far more modern and sinister? Sort of like a vigilante mermaid out to save the reef and the ocean upon which all life depends. That was my vibe.
I get you.
I saw the bubbles from the reef coming up to the surface, and I was like, wow, maybe that reef's not doing so
It's a
hot.
cry for help.
Exactly.
It's the screams of the reef. Mm-hmm. Little bubbles.
And all of the little creatures that depend upon it are not doing so well.
Yeah.
And as, you know, a royal mermaid, it's your duty to take care of the ocean. And
From both sides, too. If you have the transformation powers, you could be like, I'm going to take down this oil baron.
well, what I was imagining, obviously I did not write this down, but I was imagining that they've never actually seen a human, so they don't know how to make legs.
I see.
But they've seen dolphins, they've seen like octopi and stuff like that, so they can do that, but they've never seen a human, so they don't know they can have legs. So that would have to be introduced as like, wait, human above? I guess I could do that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a comic where it's like a play on Little Mermaid, and she's like, you will look like a human. How many legs do humans have? And she's like, 8. I don't know. And then she's like,
Terrifying.
under the dress. It's hilarious.
That's amazing.
But it is horrifying, yeah. It's like, have you seen human legs? How many do they have? And she's the octopus, like, I don't know.
I got this many.
Yeah.
That checks out.
It's funny.
That's good.
I imagine, like, you pop out too, and you're like, this looks right. And then you're like, poop, 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 poop. And you're like,
Could be more.
you could need more. You never know.
Yeah.
I like your idea. It's very fun.
Thanks.
Very mermaidy. Mermaid justice is great.
Yeah.
How do you want to combine mermaid justice with reading Mars program?
I mean, you did mention the final frontier. Mm-hmm. So I feel like space mermaids might be a little harder.
It might be
So-
a little too, what is it? Like not veiled of an idea smash.
So perhaps instead of Mars, it's like an underwater colony.
Okay, I like that.
Just that's my first thought.
I feel like, doesn't that make more sense in that instead of, just realistically.
Ooh,
But yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So they've built this underwater, basically like research station.
Okay.
Because they're trying to figure out why the ocean's going wonky.
Totally.
They don't realize that there's a mermaid colony at the reef, just across the street, just down the road, that's
yeah, they
also
can't
trying
see the
to do
giant
that.
like emerald golden towers and shit.
I mean, they've got some sort of masking ability.
Oh yeah, like Black Panther, they got the like bubble of,
Exactly. It's yeah, anyhow. So we've got those two things happening.
it.
They're both trying to do the same thing. And then the kids are earning, they're reading so as to get their family to this new research place where there's like food and they get to work on like hydroponic.
Mm-hmm.
It's very spacey, like colonizing the bottom of the ocean.
I'm
So
in.
the same sort of things. And then
The whole mermaid subplot with humans killing the ocean is happening as well.
yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, it depends. It could be a curse. We could have just been cursed by some other thing, but I feel like if we're making it like futuristic underwater space station-y thing,
Yeah.
ocean station,
I
then
I
it
like-
should be like some sort of pollution.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
Sort of
please.
in the like Cylon-y sense is the mermaid has put themselves in this human society at the bottom of the ocean and is kind of letting people know that shit's not like doing too hot for the mermaid colony, or not mermaid colony, like they never out themselves as a
Yeah,
mermaid.
they're a
but,
fish.
but yeah, it's like they are trying, they get themselves in like a mentor position in the colony where they're able to tell people about the reef dying and like the like far-reaching consequences of that. Perhaps. And so the show is less about the reading program. Like definitely that is the impetus for this child to
Yeah.
be like the main character in the thing, but it's kind of like the backstory of how they got there rather than the main story.
Yeah, no, as you were saying that, I had an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe society itself has moved to underwater pods because it's like too hot on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone's winning a trip either to the surface, the kids,
Oh.
to see if it's inhabitable, or they've given up and they really do want to shoot them into space. Because we could
I
bring the
gotcha.
space back in as well. Of like, we've destroyed the Earth, and the mermaids are like, actually, I think we could fix it.
Ah.
And so the mermaids, because that would be a great way to also weaken the quote-unquote royal mermaid family. Some of that bloodline has gone into the human realm and stayed. They haven't been able to fix this ocean problem, and so that family's dying out because they aren't able to come
They're just,
back
like,
to the coral reef.
They haven't transformed back into their mermaid form for a long time, and they've just ingratiated
There's
into
been like
human society.
generations
Yeah.
of mermaids as humans
I
masquerading.
see.
Because they've been trying really hard to figure out what to do, how to stop it, blah, 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 and they haven't been able to.
Ooh, could be a twist. The
Yeah.
kid is actually a part of the mermaid line because it's been so long.
And because eventually maybe even the mermaids kind of forgot.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
someone didn't say, like, I've always been a mermaid. I just decided to live as a human. And then, like, their kid has it, and that happened in another family. And
Yeah.
now this main kid has, like, the genes to become a mermaid and transform, but they just don't know it
Oh,
yet.
they're wearing those jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I love this because it gives the mermaid colony that still exists
That lost
that
bloodline.
dwindling Atlantis-y vibe that I'm like in love with.
Oh, yeah.
And so they keep to the darkest depths, like, and the veiled, cities.
Yeah, they very much
But
stayed
even the
hidden.
veils,
Are starting to weaken.
the veils are starting to weaken, and the cities are becoming
Decrepit.
decrepit and like ghost towns.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's this creepy kind of thing. What, like, mermaids aren't creepy. It's just
No.
like
It's like a sunken ship.
when so many people, like it's a population decline thing. I love this. And so
I do too.
the whole show, not the whole show, but I think a great portion of the show, the main character child, you do not know, and there's no reason to think that they have mermaid
But maybe
bloodline.
their mentor is like one that's able to be a mermaid. Or
Yes.
maybe they've lost the ability to transform, but they get their like mermaid senses tingling and they're like, this kid,
Yeah.
I should try and mentor them
think
and
that's the
see if
thing.
they have it. Or
They-
maybe that's what everyone's trying to secretly do. All the mermaids that are in human society are trying to find that one like savior of the mermaids. They're trying to mentor
Mermaid
it.
Jesus.
Right, sure. Mermaid Jeebus. But maybe they've been trying to find this like lost kid, some sort of prophecy. Maybe that's too
The
far.
like I like the
Okay.
lost bloodline of
And
like a
so-
royal bloodline sort of thing.
They're almost like these spies that originally were trying to find someone to like save them, and
Yeah.
then that's been forgotten because it's been generations.
Yeah.
They're human-ish now.
Maybe
they're
not even a
still
royal
dying.
bloodline, but sort of like a healing magic,
Sure, yeah,
just sort of like clerical
Yeah,
bloodline that
absolutely.
like was lost at some point.
I went for the easy. I was like, they're royal.
Yeah.
That's why they have to protect the ocean.
I know, but royal to me is boring at this point because you're like, oh, you're just
Well, at one point there was a thriving kingdom where the royalty, they were in charge and they had the healing mermaids.
exactly.
that
I like to
kept
think
it.
that they're royal not because of bloodline, but because of the potency of their healing magic, and so they are raised to that higher level because of their ability to help others rather than just being like, well, my mother was the queen.
And I'm proposing both.
Yes, exactly. And
But
I'm not trying to say
Those that were royal don't have the healing power, and they needed that.
okay.
And they sought those people out because those were never easily found. They're not related.
Okay.
They've always been trying to find those healing friends.
so you're saying the royal bloodline
they're just supposed to
and the-
protect the ocean.
and the clerical bloodline are two separate things.
And the clerical thing's not a bloodline.
clerical thing's not a bloodline, it's just a
You're just
trait.
like chosen.
Got it.
You get lucky. You have some magic kelp. I
Cool.
don't know, but
Eat the magic weeds,
delicious.
underwater weeds.
So that's why the mermaids are always trying to find that healing, and why they might be looking in the humans, because they know that their mermaid abilities have been muddied into.
I see.
That's not the right
So
word.
you're saying, are
Not
you
muddied
saying
at
at this
all.
point, is the mentor part of the royal bloodline, or are
Just-
they part of the magic
They can't
They're
be
okay.
clerical. They're just trying to find a healer.
They're like hired by the royal bloodline
Yes, which is slowly dying
to
out.
find the magic kelp healer people.
Yep,
Got it.
they're losing the ability to send out these scouts even to try and find the healers.
Okay,
but
so this
this
is like a
kid-
last ditch effort.
And this kid is a healer.
I
Do
like
you
this
like
a lot.
that? Was
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
really
No, this is
confusing?
great.
Okay.
It's not confusing.
Okay.
It's,
Sorry, listeners.
It's basically
if,
like the royal bloodline does not have this healing power.
Nope.
But they have utilized people who have it throughout the ages to heal parts of the ocean that are sick,
Exactly.
heal their people,
Yep.
keep everything going.
Yeah, so
And there's been a decline of these magic people
and a decline in general of mermaids.
and a
because
decline
of
in
it.
general because of the loss of healing and just the sending up of people to find more magical people.
The scouts, yeah.
And the scouts,
missionaries.
yes, the scouts are not royal, not magical, but they're hired by the royal family to find magical people, magical mermaid people.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that a lot.
Cool.
And I
do
also
too.
I like the idea that at some point, because of the dilution of like the magical bloodline, and not bloodline, but like
I know what you mean.
you can be more human than mermaid and
Yes.
still get it. And I think
Yeah.
that's like the kid.
It's like a recessive gene.
Yeah. And so I think
Back
that's
to
what
the
happens
pants.
with our main character.
Absolutely.
Child. And I want to think that the mentor doesn't immediately notice that part about the kid. Like it's not that obvious.
I'm thinking maybe mermaids live a little longer, depending. We'll see, whatever. But they have basically a checklist where they like test each kid they run into, like do
Yeah.
this, do this, do this. And they're so used to it not working that they don't even recognize that this kid was able to like do whatever little task.
Yeah.
They like, I don't know, they got a tadpole to like skip or
They
something.
heal a pea plant or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do something really small that they're so like used to it not the scouts so used to it just not working. They don't recognize it
Yeah.
immediately.
I like that. It's like an initial overlooking of this thing that actually was their goal the whole time.
Yep, because it's been years and years,
Yeah.
and there haven't been any healers, and it's like, okay, please look here, please do this.
Okay.
I don't know.
So this is
Something like
in
that.
the underwater colony. And okay. Right?
Yeah, this is in a bubble. This is in Space Lab. What was that called? Sea Lab 2021. Was that what it was called?
It's something like that. It's definitely Sea Lab, yeah. I don't know.
I liked that Adult Swim show.
Are
that
we
was long
sticking
ago.
with the Earth's surface is barren and all human life is underwater or underground or something?
I like that, but that's your call because that's getting into your idea territory.
I mean, that's fine with me because then we do get the whole we're moving on to Mars.
Yeah, it's either we have to like go up to the surface
Yeah.
and build a shuttle and like shoot off.
I like that, and I also like that there's remnants of just regular human society, like a book reading contest in underwater bubble land.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because it gives it more charm, you know.
Definitely. I mean, just because people have moved underwater, it doesn't mean that life is bad for people.
No,
By any means. It
No.
still has the I'm saying human condition, the human spirit, you know.
I mean they do have the human condition.
Yeah.
The buildings don't have the human. They're buildings.
But no, you know, it's like humanity's still humanity. Kids are still playing and
Exactly.
reading, and it's not like we're doing badly. It's just the ocean is starting to not
Yeah,
work anymore.
I think this is sort of the post sea level rise thing.
Yeah.
And then
So people are already
subsequent-
kind of
yeah.
pushed underwater
So
a
it's
little
a
bit.
sort of post-apocalyptic, but the world apocalypse is so human focused.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Earth is still here.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I
it's
like
kind
that.
of like, you know, an alternate history where instead of people going to the moon in 1969
We went
or
down.
59, whatever year that was.
We went down on them.
Exactly. Woo. Instead of shooting into space, we just emphasized exploring
I like
underwater
that. So
instead.
I even like to have like a Armstrong, not Lance, but like a
A Louis Armstrong, maybe?
That's one. That bird. The skies are blue. The
Oceans.
ground's blue too.
Everything's
I'm
blue.
underwater. Yeah, I like the idea, the alternate history being that's one small step for man and one giant step for bubbles underwater. We got it. We're living large
No,
underwater.
just instead of rocketing up, we
Yeah.
explored, we dove.
No, I like that a lot. That's really cool. And it's like instead of just I guess Armstrong mission would just be like we collected rocks and eels and stuff and we brought them back, but then they actually are like, oh, we're doing colonies underwater. Like,
Yeah.
we have to for us to survive. Mm-hmm. Instead of like,
And
what the
it
fuck
could have
did we do?
even
The moon.
been,
The
like-
moon is like we sent a rover up there and that's
But
it.
it could be like going back to the Cold War even. They built bunkers underwater instead of wherever else, like in the ground. Like
I think it's
that's-
just a complete understanding. It's got to be some sort of historical science switch,
Mm-hmm.
or instead of like nukes and other stuff, it's the more focus on surviving. It's like the. It's sort of like the clock is still ticking on climate change,
Mm-hmm.
and that ship has sailed. But instead of trying to develop above ground, like solar, whatever, like that still happens. But the focus is using it and utilizing it, and even perfecting the like wind, like turbines in the ocean, and you
Yeah.
can like line them up or whatever. So it's like
And we've learned how
that
to
utilization.
desalinate. Is that how you call it?
desalinate.
Desalinate the water.
Yeah, which you can do,
But
but it's
we're-
just
We're better at it.
it's an
in
energy
this
intensive thing. Yeah, it's like something
alternative
happened.
history.
Something totally happened where there's huge strides in making that less energy intensive and actually like doable on large
Mm-hmm.
scale.
So that changes, and that changes the course of everything. Well,
Yeah.
why would we go somewhere else when we have all this water around us? The oceans are so vast. Let's take to those.
Yeah, and so that's not even start of the problem. Like obviously the oceans were not doing great before,
Mm-hmm.
but that accelerates the sort of healing necessity of the mermaid colonies.
Yep. Once
And-
the
yeah.
humankind moves underwater,
Yeah.
then the mermaids lose out on, maybe some of the places they used to farm.
Oh, colonizers over
I
there.
don't know. Oof.
Uh-oh.
They've had to hide themselves more because they
Yeah.
don't want to be found out. They've lost their habitat. It's
Yeah.
broken up the colony, the whole, underwater network.
Yeah. Well, it sucks
cut
because
off
it's
more.
totally humans again being like, we did it. Like, we can live here. And then the mermaids are like, actually.
We were here, but sure, we'll just go hide. That's fine.
It's not. It's very reservation.
But I think that's a good foundation for
Totally.
this. So we have all these underwater ocean floor pods
Yeah.
that society's living in. And then they have a reading contest because they've decided, the water's getting too hot? Like the global warming hasn't stopped?
Yeah. It's.
Like the oceans are dying because of the heat still?
It's,
Why do we have to
I think it's
leave?
still going to be like a fishing thing, or like there's some technological thing that they can't solve.
Okay.
So they're like, well, we have to pick up where we left off on space travel and get that off the ground.
Literally.
Yeah, and I think I don't think we need to determine whether it's like
Okay.
fish kills. I think the reefs play into it because those are ecosystems, and so when humans understand that, which like it's obvious to be like, oh, this reef is bleached, like something bad is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens large scale, they're like, we're trying our best not to be intrusive to the society, but us living underwater is still a negative impact. And so we have to move somewhere else and try something else.
Yeah, because it could be. I'm thinking of how highways have affected like animals being able to move around.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So we've built all these underground tubes and pods,
And they're like big.
yeah,
like
they're
big
massive.
things,
They're like
yeah.
cities.
But I like to think, see, that's the one thing is
So it's
once
disrupting nature.
once they got underwater and had everything set up, they were able to tap a huge amount of energy from like vents and stuff.
Yeah, geothermal kind of.
So that killed that environment, but like very quickly and easily allowed for like huge strides in like people living down there. Because
Definitely.
it's like free heating, free energy basically, and that fuels that whole like research thing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you get like cool underwater space rockets because they like work underwater like ships, but then they just like shoot them out of the water and it works like a rocket ship too.
Why not?
Yeah. So like that's the alternate history like coming to a head, I guess.
Cool.
We got that.
So I guess it doesn't have to be that people need to leave the Earth. It could be that this is the next research. They just want to check out space now.
Yeah, I think it's a
It
mix
could be
of...
a little bit more positive that way.
Yeah, I like that. The humans...
too.
They're not
I hadn't thought of
completely
it that
fucking
way.
everything up.
Yeah, they bothered the ecosystem, but global warming, climate change, that's not an issue anymore. They've pretty much figured it out.
Yes.
Because we've got the geothermal hot, we've got that,
Yeah.
we've got the water that they're able to change, all that energy.
Yeah.
They don't need to use fossil fuels because it's just running on, I don't know, water.
I like to think, see, this is fun. I'm world building here.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a big tube between two different larger colony bubbles.
Like the channel, sure.
And in the tube is like a little river, like sort of a lazy river where you put like a paddle, like hydro, like water powered thing in
Cool.
it. And it's just like, that's the trolley
That's how you get
sort of
around.
subway system.
And if everyone has their own, if it's well planned, if we got some
And
city
it's gotta
planners
be.
in there,
It's gotta be. This is like cool, futuristic,
then
everyone like actually
everything's
planned it.
pretty, the dream. Everything's pretty much self-sufficient. They have their farm. It's
Mm-hmm.
enough to feed everyone. They have like a fishing vessel that goes out and like captures
Yeah.
some sustainably caught bottom
Yeah.
floor,
It's
whatever.
the sort of scary thing where you're like, okay, everyone's doing okay down here. What
Mm-hmm.
happened to make everything up on top?
Do you want it
not
to
that
be-
way?
far enough away that people don't know really what happened. It was apocalyptic enough that enough knowledge was lost.
I think it's a mix. It's a mix of a lot of people. Like, it's historically relevant for people to understand what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's far enough removed that the older people, maybe who are down there, were there.
They
sort
remember
of,
like leaving as a kid.
yeah, like a Depression era, sort of like, I lived through this.
Yeah.
And then you have the newer generations who can
Only
learn from them.
grown up underwater.
Yeah. But have only known like subsurface living.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So it's not completely removed and everyone's like, why do we live down here? It don't matter. It's a party. We finally grew palm trees down.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Coconuts for everyone.
Because I don't like that, just like ignorance of it. I like
That's
the...
too Wally
Yeah,
for me.
I like the significance of... We have books. Like, they're reading books.
Okay.
And so nonfiction, fiction, regardless, it's all inspired... Or not inspired, but indicative of what happened above.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Above
So-
surface. Subsurface? I'm thinking tidally words.
Oh, sure. Are you there yet?
I just said subsurface before, and now I'm like, it's kind of cool.
Just gotta remember that one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm kind of thinking we're near tidal phase. I think we have a
I mean,
mermaid mentor teaching kid
but
while reading.
the issue with that is if the kid that's being mentored and has the magic healing powers is going to be sent to space, then it's going to like completely, the ocean isn't going to live anymore. And then it's going to be a problem. Maybe the humans don't realize how bad it is.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
The reason is the humans know it's bad, but
they think it's okay.
They think it's okay because they don't know about mermaids.
Yeah.
And so the mermaids ghost town bad situation going on is unknown to them.
They're barely holding it together. When it falls apart, I don't know, massive like earthquake, tidal wave, breakup, destroy everything.
Sort of like
tectonic plates.
Poseidon-y, like
Yes.
Poseidon's wrath sort of thing, like happens.
Real bad.
Lots of bad typhoon, but like underwater,
Yeah.
the whirlpool-y kind of like bad shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that, but again, it's like the mermaids are so effectively hiding themselves and their existence that even though humans are spreading far and wide into the underwater land,
And
it's like,
cutting into the mermaid's power and scope
yeah,
and realm of being able to take
I think
care
that's
of
just the main
things.
thing is like they're able to. It's kind of a pocket dimension-y where like the humans can go anywhere and not find them because of how effective their technology or magic
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
But no, that sounds good to me. The mermaids are like, this is about to go south really fast.
Yeah.
And the humans think, we finally figured it out. We've hit that equilibrium. Things are going really well. We're proud of ourselves. But they don't realize it's being held together by magical threads.
Yes.
That they're about to take the needle that could sew everything back together and shoot it into space.
Yes, I love that because it plays into the ignorance of the humankind, but the whole, like a large portion of the show, you don't even know about mermaids. So you're just going along with the humans are in the right here. They understand that they've done a max amount of good/bad in
Yeah.
this colony situation, and they have to go. And you're like rooting for them to read the books, to get to Mars, and you're really, really rooting for it. And then the whole veil comes down on the city, like the magical technological thing loses enough power where like a huge
There's just
decrepit falling city like starts falling on like a colony or something.
Okay.
Like a huge tower just like breaks off when something
then
happens.
the mermaids masking as humans in those areas, are they going to try and explain it away? Use some sort of magic to be like, oh, it was just a volcano. Like, you didn't see a city.
I think...
And then they know, like, oh, crap, we're really screwing.
Yeah. We're really screwing.
We're really screwing.
I think it's... Yeah, there's an innate thing where as soon as the veil comes down, it's sort of like a brain blast of,
I have an idea.
knowledge. I don't know.
Maybe the kid's always been able to see through the veil because they have that, like, enough mermaid. And so when it starts collapsing, they're like, oh no, it's falling. And then the mentor's like, wait, you can see that?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be able to see that. Why can you see that? And then they realize, like, all those things, all the signs they've missed come, like, flashing back to them. And they're like, oh no, you're supposed to go to space. We need you here.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
I do too.
Because then you have the amazing connection
So it would
between...
make sense that mermaids would be able to see through the magic wall, so they know where the mermaids
it's their wall.
Exactly.
It's theirs.
But the kid's always been like, I don't know, there's just always been a building over there.
Yeah.
Is that
They never
weird?
go to it.
No.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be a cool episode is you have the kid trying to get to that city and following like tube systems and like seeing it off in the distance. And they like go behind a mountain or through a tunnel or something, and then they come out the other side and it's still there, and they're like, there was no door to get to it. How do I get to that research? Like, they just think it's another human thing, but there's no way to get to it.
I like the idea that they do that when they're younger. They're like, I don't know, 10. And
Sort
they're
of
like,
flashbacky.
Mom, Dad, or, whatever parental units I have. What is that thing? And they're like, there's nothing. Or maybe it looks like a rock or something.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's nothing.
I kind of want them to be alone, though. Or with a friend or something.
I mean that they ask, the parents say, that's nothing. And then they go to look. And they're like, no, I saw someone. I saw something. I need to go see. And then they get there and they're like, what's going on? And everyone's just like, there's nothing there. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's cool.
I think so too.
I really like it. And they like see a mermaid person.
But they've been told like it's nothing, so they're like, okay, whatever, I guess it's nothing. And then it doesn't come back until they're like, wait, why is it falling down? And the mentor's like, excuse me?
Yeah. And then the mentor has this whole conflict of like, oh shit, you're the one we need to save everything, and we're like prepping you for launch in like a week or something.
Yeah. And then we don't have to figure that out now of what would happen, but like obviously they'd want someone as bright as that in space trying to figure stuff out too. And
it's
maybe
a conflict of interest because you're like, do we give up on the current mermaid human
Mars
colonies?
has water. We know this.
Frozen, yes.
So maybe the mermaids are like, do we pack up and go with them and just like give up this and hope that the water there is going to sustain us?
Exactly.
Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
We have to have royal meetings. And so the kingdom attempts to meet and there's not very many people and blah. Anyway.
I love it.
I do too.
Because then it kind of gets like political drama-y.
A little bit. Yeah.
All at once, too. Like, that's a good climax right there. I love it.
There's a lot going on that they have to figure out.
A lot going on.
And the kid, I don't know how old the kid is, but imagine having that pressure on you before you're like 15 or something. Yeah. Whoa.
Love it. This is great.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
I think so, too.
I'm glad we got underwater and we got space and underwater in here.
I'm surprised that happened. I'm very happy. Ooh,
high five. That's a good one.
Yeah.
We don't usually high five before we find a title. Hopefully that's not cursed us.
No, you already had Subterranean or something.
Subsurface?
That's the one.
Maybe.
Hey, that's half the battle.
Do you want to come up with title words?
Yeah, I'm happy. We can figure out. We can have a season end at what are we gonna do next? And if we get canceled, we get canceled. You know, watcher gets to decide.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we get a season 2. We can figure that out in season 2.
That's what season 2's for, where we start a new podcast and it's called Instant Anime 2, and we just make a season 2 of all of our current our anime.
That's what happens when we, rather than quitting the podcast, when we come up with the same exact idea, we're going to come up with a second podcast where we just do, season 2. And once we come up with the same idea for that, we move on to season 3 until
That's the thing, and at least then
hit syndication,
We
I guess.
we have 170 episodes of this podcast, so that's at least 170 episodes of
fingers crossed,
second season podcast. It's just titled Second Season.
an instant anime production.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Words would be
Yes. I mean, do you want to go with like underwater pod, mermaid, space? You've got this whole like legacy thing. There's a lot of different things.
I know. Do you want to do like a mermaidy magic word?
Yes.
Kind
always.
of envelops the legacy sort of thing. The royal mermaidy.
all of
thing.
that lore. Mermaid lore.
Mermaid lore word.
Yes.
And
Research? Like the advancement of humanity?
oh, that's yeah.
All right, you're still noodling on it. What you thinking? What kind of pasta you having over there?
Linguine.
Delicious.
It would what? Okay, mermaidy underwater. Like that's all in mermaid.
Yes.
So the opposite would be like a researchy space.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's try that.
All right, do you want to do a mermaid word first or a researchy space word first?
I'll start in space. Why not?
I'll do a mermaid lore word. 3, 2, 1. Poseidon.
Exploration.
Exploration's good.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Switcheroo. Planetary.
Trident.
I almost did Trident, and I'm like, that's just gum.
Well, I went with gum. I also thought of a whole title. I don't know if you'll like it, but Galactic Ocean.
Oh, that's fun. Galactic. Have we done Galactic
We
before?
did Galaxy and Blue, but I don't know if we've done
Galactic.
Intergalactic.
Intergalactic Idol.
Yeah, never mind. We've
Done it,
We've been pretty
kinda.
close to that.
My other word was subsurface. Mm-hmm. Subsurface doesn't really work as like to carry it. I just like the sound of it when I said it.
It sounds more
Underground?
serious than the tone of this anime to me.
Maybe. I feel like this anime is almost more serious than not, though.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna get really quite
Intense?
serious and intense at the end, but I feel like leading up to it's lighthearted.
Lighthearted book reading anime.
Because I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hear ya.
I was picturing kind of like in the Hitchhiker's Guide movie with how the spaceship was just like white, like rounded edges.
Yeah.
Like I was picturing the pods being really light, really white, really bright,
Gotcha.
very clean. And Subsurface sounds like Battlestar Galactica's like gray, grungy ships.
Yeah. And I sort of had an amalgamation of the idyllic, research pods that look really nice, but also you have to have bulletproof, waterproof glass with like titanium alloy, shielding for large like
Yeah. No, I'm
underground
picturing very.
heat swells or something. I don't know.
Oh, I guess like in Star Wars. White, pristine.
Like a Naboo fighter, the yellow
Well,
or the silver one in the first movie where it's like all metallic-y and mirror-y.
what's the one where they find Princess Leia?
The first one?
Yeah.
New Hope?
No, I mean the ship. When they're like, he storms the ship to find her.
Oh, like the inside of that ship?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, totally.
That's what I'm picturing.
But the outside of that ship is just like a clunky spaceship.
Well, I'm picturing the inside of it.
It's gotta have outside too. Yeah, no, I mean that's fine. It's not a
The
title.
outside's orange because of C-Lab. Anyhow.
Yeah. It is.
What about something ocean in the sky or...
Yeah, I almost had a baseball idea for this one, and I was
Second
like,
Frontier.
diamonds in the sky. But I think we did that
Yeah, we had the baseball field like as a
Underwater
mirror kind of thing.
world. I don't remember what that title was, but
I don't either. I'm going to pull a little bit from my idea with the coral reef. Heart of the ocean.
Heart of the Ocean. I like that.
Do you think it makes sense?
Yeah, because the heart is like a healing word. Mm-hmm. And finding this kid is like finding the heart of the ocean. Mm-hmm. And it's able to heal and pump the metaphorical blood back into the society of mermaids and people alike. Mm-hmm. I like that. Heart of the Ocean's great.
Do you think that's good?
Yeah.
And it could be kind of fun if the heart was also an acronym, like in the show.
Oh, yeah.
For like some sort of the pod research thing. Which I think, going off of it being called egg, we should definitely have the underwater.
Yeah,
Plus, eggs are strong.
I was already picturing it that way.
Okay,
anyways,
well, I'm making it explicit.
It's cooler to be egg-shaped and like a cool dome with like a definitive like point to it than just like bubble.
Plus, eggs are super, super strong. That's the whole point of them.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point. Okay. But yeah, it'd be interesting if, it was like the heart program.
Do you want to do the title be
entering
H.E.A.
I don't think so. I think it wanted to...
Do you want to do it all caps?
No, because I think I want the show to be about the heart of the ocean, the coral reef, but the humans have put together the humans entering, I don't know...
astrological research tendency, something like that. I get
Tamago.
it. Eggs.
Or it could be HART for the humans. Like
Kevin.
Okay. Just saying the acronym could be pronounced heart, but not
HEART. Yeah.
But it could be the heart of the ocean.
And Kevin
coral.
Hart's dumb.
He's unaffiliated. We don't need him.
He's the president. I don't know. No, I like that. I want heart to be,
But it just,
sort of
it would be kind of a funny realization that all the mermaids have been talking about a completely different heart than every human imagined it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole hubris of
eggs.
human, like, research and science is they're just like, look, we solved this problem. And then the mermaids are like,
excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Actually, going on Moana over here.
They're going to mansplain it to us.
Oof.
Actually, mermaids...
Mermaid-splain it. I'm okay with that.
But yeah, I like Heart of the Ocean. Heart of the... Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, unless you want it to be something else.
Heart of the Sea.
Heart of the Sea.
No, Heart of the Ocean is good. I think that's the title. Who do you want to be in Heart of the Ocean?
Oh, man. You know what? I think I'll work in one of the hydroponic farms.
That's fun. Did you say hydropodic? Because it's a pod.
I didn't mean to, but these things happen.
Hydroegic. Research in some situations is my goal.
So maybe I'm bringing you samples of my garden for you to examine in your research?
And feed to my fish-chicken hybrid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aquatic chickens?
Uh-huh. Because they lay eggs. I think there's like a fun egg thing in there somewhere.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Why not?
Like eels plus chicken equals like egg eel.
Yeah, egg eel. It almost sounds like a name. This is my son, egg eel.
Egg eel? Do eels lay eggs? I don't know.
Ooh.
Because are they like fish? And they lay little eggs?
I'm not sure, actually.
Hey, you marine biologists out there.
We're going to need some of you on board for this, it sounds like.
You're coming down to the eggs with us.
I'm going to lay some eggs at the ocean.
Okay, we're in it. Kevin Hart is not in it.
Don't need him.
He's too expensive anyways, so, like, screw it.
We need a cool kid character and a mentor.
Yeah.
Those are, like, our main characters.
Perfect.
And then we can have, I don't know, Ian McKellen, maybe, as the, like, king.
Oh,
Mermaid King.
That'd be great.
Because, like, old, but, like, super noble sounding.
Bilbo.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Tired, we can make
I gotta watch that whole Lord of the Rings reunion thing.
Yes, you do.
I gotta.
Yes, you do. How did Josh get in on that?
It was on his channel.
The fuck, Olaf? What
I
you
don't
doing?
know. He's just bored in quarantine, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah,
be nice.
but if you like Lord of the Rings, they did like a whole Zoom cast reunion.
So many people.
It was wild.
Everyone.
I didn't watch it all, but I assume it's great from the like little clip I saw.
Well, you'll watch that, and I'll get back to my
John
Sims.
Rhys Davies putting on the helmet and being like,
And then he like
moving
angled the camera.
It was so fucking funny. I'm
so
just
good.
dying.
I love him.
I love him. He's so old now. He's like actually dwarven now. It's
I
amazing.
He really grew into it. But yeah, you watch that, and I get back to my Sims knitting. Shout out to anyone else who's
That sounds like a good week.
doing their virtual knitting right now.
Oh yeah, get that new pack.
Yep.
So we're in it. Nobody else is in it.
Oh my
John
god,
Rhys Davies
I've been
might be in it.
playing mermaids on The Sims.
Oh,
Do you think
yeah.
maybe that's where it came
totally.
from?
You had your
I
mermaid
didn't
die
even
of hypothermia
realize.
last time.
I didn't save. It's fine. It's fine.
Either way, that's the podcast Instant Anime.
Just add music.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sarah.
Wow. This turned out really good.
This is cool.
I'm like super happy with this. I would watch it.
It's fun when we do a lot of world building.
It's kind of got like a Ponyo-y vibe to me.
Yeah.
In terms of the mermaid thing being the shiny. I think that's the cool thing is we didn't talk about it, but you can introduce the sort of flashbacky mermaid
Sure. Yeah.
opulence and
How it
like,
used to be.
Yeah, actually cool technology.
Some nice Art Deco mermaid lands.
Again, very Black Panther. Like I don't know if you saw that one, but
I
it's like
didn't.
it's in the Veil, and then you go in, and it's this huge technologically advanced mirror buildings and like incredible CG effects in that movie to like show that place. But yeah, I think it's like that. Very Ponyo-y. The bubbles in Ponyo and any Ghibli thing are like, I want these.
They're like fat, juicy bubbles.
They're like lava lamp bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want
Does
that.
anybody have any of those anymore? Lava lamps? Are they cool again? I feel like they could be cool
I
again.
broke mine.
I wasn't allowed to have mine in my bedroom because it got hot.
It got
It's like a fire
so
hazard.
hot, but
Yeah.
like that's the point.
That's
There's
how
like
it
a
works.
coil in it.
Yeah, but I wasn't allowed to just like have it in my room.
Oh, I had mine. Blue and green lava.
Mine was blue.
Blue
too.
water, green lava.
I think mine was.
Like neon green. Shout out, send us a pic of your lava lamp, hashtag instant lava. On our Twitter,
Yeah.
Instant Anime Pod. It's where we post GIFs teasing upcoming animes. Sometimes, otherwise, we're using it to amplify those voices of sweet creators who are in the anime space, people of color, etc. It's just a great place to be. I'm not using it a lot currently because lots going on.
Yeah.
But if I ever use it, I'm trying to amplify voices.
Plus, I mean, there's just so much cool stuff being made.
It's like our previous feed was like a post a day, and now I'm like, okay, if I try and do like one a week, maybe, like it's just there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on. We have a Twitter, and then other than that, we have a website.
Yeah, it's instantannie.may. You can check it out. It has all of our episodes with clickable description links, like Jimmy mentioned earlier in the podcast. So if you want to find Egg by Kayla Kimura, you can find it there. Hopefully there's a music video.
Dunno.
We will
My
find
cursory
out.
Googling didn't let me know. Didn't clue me in.
I guess that's good, because otherwise it'd be like an anime theme song that showed up, and we'd be like, well, we did all this for naught.
That's what I was worried
So,
about.
guess it's good. Anyhow, we will have it linked there. Besides that, of course, we have our sidebar full of fun stuff. We've got all our podcatchers, Spotify playlist, which includes Egg, if you want to listen to some songs that we have used in the past to make some awesome ideas.
Egg.
And we also have our suggestion form, suggest.instantannie.may, also in the sidebar, also our pinned tweet. And you can suggest a song that you want Jimmy and I to turn into an anime right here on this podcast.
This one. You're
Wow.
listening to it.
How cool for you and for us. Yay.
That's the episode. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.